Hello, welcome back to the pile. My name is Tyler Courtney. This is Brock Davis, and here we're talking about all things Pokemon. Brock, how we doing?
Doing pretty good.
Man, how was your weekend? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Just kind of not doing a ton, but just having a good chill week.
Yeah. Did that involve? What did that involve? Just nothing, literally physically nothing.
Nothing really. I went up camping with my parents for a little bit.
See, that's something. That is a physical thing. That's sick. You touched grass. Like that's huge.
I did touch
That's a
grass.
that's a big breakthrough for a Pokemon player.
The,
Like, are you
the,
okay,
the gamer touched grass.
bro? Are
Yes.
you? Oh, did you survive? I'm still scared
I
too.
don't know. I am slightly allergic to grass, so
Oh, that's so funny. This is completely irrelevant. I don't know if you did this. My parents thought I was like, I don't know if the right word is dying or not, but I had to go to like a allergy
yes.
specialist and get like
But did you
the
did you
36 bump
break out on your
test.
back?
Yeah. Oh my god, and I still
Yeah.
have nightmares. Okay, I don't actually still have nightmares about it. But like I said, still like engraved in my brain, them like injecting each individual allergen. And like I'm allergic to like everything that's outside, technically. So like I always have this like weird runny nose, and I always sound weird inconsistently. Unless I take my medicine every day, which is not a lot. It's like 2 pills of like Allegra and Mucinex, but like it's like whatever. Like, but I'm allergic to
I
it just
I am technically allergic to grass. Like I say it as a joke, but technically I am
just all
allergic to
grass.
grass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like alfalfa grass, which is like alfalfa and bluegrass grass, which isn't super common, but like it's common enough to where like it is annoying sometimes.
Like, is it deathly allergic?
No, no, no,
Okay, I
no.
was gonna
It's
say
like
like the
my
way
whole
you're
back will break
describing it
out.
is just like, oh, I thought you need an EpiPen for alfalfa grass.
No, like I'll like break out real bad.
That's too
Like on
good.
my back, but it's like out of everything to be allergic to. And the funny thing is my old job was like cutting grass.
Landscaping, yeah.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. Yeah, we're best podcast in the world. Get your allergen check here. Make sure you go see a doctor. Improve your health quality by a million. Um, no, crazy week for me. I'm still working like 6 days a week, so that's awesome. But we got a lot of um, I don't want to say. I guess it is emotional stress in general right now, but that's okay. There's a lot of moving personal parts in me and my wife's personal life currently. I won't go too much into detail, but like, yeah, so it's going to be a weird holiday season for us. And so we're not separating. I love my wife and she still loves me. It's not like that kind of thing, but it's definitely more than the average person has to go through. And I wasn't aware of it until I even entered this type of um, scenario. And so, not to be too cryptic, but I also don't want to like leave too much detail. Just everything is fine in general. It's just it'll be a stressful holiday season in general. But that's okay. We what did we do this weekend? I did not get to play cards. My wife ended up going to a bunch of like of the Nebraska Cornhuskers tailgates for the UCLA game. So she was out for like 5 or 6 hours. And so like that's the trade off. I get to play Pokemon like 80% of the weekends. And sometimes she'll just get to have a weekend where she goes out with like her friends and does stuff like that. So it was a good little break for me because I didn't want to go to more pre-releases, and no one's really playing this standard because we have what 2 more weeks until rotation. So I'm cool with it, and so I got enough Pokemon to talk about and play about. I don't need to go every Saturday, Sunday type of thing. So that's all good. Well, let's hop in. We got a lot of news to talk about. A lot of cool stuff. I think it's a lot of hope, to be honest. And also, I mean, I guess it's kind of negative too to think about it. I'm hoping it's not like this all the time in ways. But we're gonna start off with the good news. Especially as a casual player or for the growth of the game, we're gonna start with TCG Pocket. Brock, I know you've been playing a little bit. I've been playing a ton, but as a old FIFA player, I'm definitely sticking to the no money model. And so it makes it a little bit more challenging, but I have the Gardevoir deck done. But the reason why we're talking about it, it's because it's bigger than at least I expected. It's a massive, massive game. It's over, I think it was 10 million downloads in 3 days. And I think it's like, well, here, I got the article here for the profit margin because this is insane. We'll swap screens here. Pocket has made over $12 million in the first 4 days of release. And that's just in the States. Imagine if they released this, I don't know, a month prior when New Zealand got it. Because they never released the numbers from the beta. So God knows how much. Because I know Tricky Jim and a bunch of people moved to New Zealand and played it early. Do you remember Mega Mawile? Or Mega. He used
The
to
card?
play. He used to play the VGC a lot in those like battle leagues, like with Shady Penguin, like those VGC single battle leagues on YouTube.
Nope.
No, but it's okay. He actually like stopped doing that and played a lot of like Runeterra and Marvel Snap and stuff like that. And he's been grinding the crap out of Pocket. I know one of the Unite commentators, Spraggles, is playing a lot of Pocket online and on stream. And the biggest thing to me was how much this is getting traction on YouTube. On YouTube, I think it was last night. I think maybe JW Creewall tweeted it or somebody else tweeted it. Pocket had 17K viewers on Twitch at one point in time. And so I just want to know your thoughts, bro. We talked about Pocket a little bit prior, I think, or maybe we skipped it last week. I can't remember. But Pocket's massive, and I'm enjoying it a lot. What about you?
Yeah, I mean the game is very enjoyable for the like a time killer game. It's very easy. So I really enjoyed Marvel Snap when it came out.
Oh, I love Marvel Snap.
Um,
That's great.
because it like forced you to like actually learn how to play it. This isn't as skill intensive as Marvel Snap yet. Like when Snap came out, it was like a competitive game instantly. This is gonna take a few sets to be able to get to that same level. But I feel like this is going to be, and I've like been telling my for all of my friends this. I think you're gonna be able to qualify for Worlds off of TCG Pocket eventually.
Now, you mean like for the
Um,
base TCG or like as its own game?
like as his own thing.
Okay.
Like so similar model to like how you can qualify for the um the World Championships in Yu-Gi-Oh for Duel Links, which is like a completely separate game than the actual TCG.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a similar thing in Pocket to where you'll be able to qualify for Pocket Worlds. Um, and just like a different way to qualify for Worlds um for like your more like you said, the more casual player, the more average player. Um
Yeah. Well, like forget
and
just
so
oh, well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say like because the game is very like I don't feel like it's on your phone, so it's like it takes the physical money aspect away from it. Of course, like you can spit microtransactions and everything, but I think there's a realistic world where like you can make every deck if you're just patient enough. So yeah,
Yeah, and like you'll get every deck over time. Like a pack a day will get you there because like even if you don't get the cards you need, eventually you'll get enough of the card credits from duplicates
yeah,
to get the I mean it is 500 for an EX or whatever it is. So it's a
it's a
good
little
amount.
high.
But you only need two of them and you're getting at least I think it was like 60 or 70 a day. And so like if you're opening a pack and you're doing the challenges and you're just playing the game, eventually you'll get there. So like I'm gonna stick to the they call it RTG or Road to Glory type of style where you just no money's put in. Like I'm not gonna play it that seriously. But the big part I wanted to talk about it's all over the place on Limitless. So online tournaments and an online meta is completely real in this. On the screen, you'll see the Limitless page for completed tournaments. There's a tournament tonight on October or November 6th that already has like 300 players. There was one on November 4th that had 351 players and a $100 prize pool. Like this game has endless potential as long as Pokemon, which Pokemon will. Like if it was TPCI, I would have more doubt with it, but this game has the potential to be, I think, bigger than current Pokemon Go, which is still massive. We talked about it prior to recording. I don't know if it'll ever be big enough like or Pokemon Go prior to COVID. That seemed, I don't know, that was massive if, based on me remembering it. But like I remember all of us in my small little dinky town walking around it to play Pokemon Go. And so like if they could reach there, I don't know how many of my friends from my local high school were playing TCG Pocket. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing or not, but like we were definitely all walking around town playing Pokemon Go together. But Pocket, I think, has the potential of being a lot bigger than Go, especially in the competitive side. Um, because I don't know if you've ever made a competitive, viable Pokemon in Go, but God,
Yes,
does it
it
take
is. It is
forever?
backwards. Like it just feels very backwards
Oh
on like how you
gosh,
have to do it.
I couldn't even describe it to you, but it takes hours of time, and
Well, it
it's
takes like hours, but also it's like all luck based. It feels
it
like.
really is because you have to like when I say hours, you have to have the re-roll potential of all those incense to find a specific Pokemon at a specific time and all this stuff. So it could end up taking days and hours of repeated of doing the same actions, like going to the same park and like trying to find the specific, I guess they call it EVs and IVs equivalent, the
Yeah.
little trainer grader thing and whatever. And then
Yeah,
imagine
I
trying to
know.
get it for the shadow version or the dark version, whatever they call that black mist around the rocket
Shadows.
Pokemon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I don't know. But either way, Pocket is massive. My favorite deck right now is the Gardevoir Mewtwo deck. But again, there's one here in top eight. There's three here in top eight, along with an Articuno and then four Pikachu Zapdoses, one Pikachu Raichu. We don't. I'm not gonna go into. We're not gonna dive into lists like that. But like, there is already an established meta, and it's kind of wide for being like 160 card set. Like, it's not like massive card pool, but to have this many different decks be viable is kind of cool. So you can really hop in the ladder with whatever you have. Like the Greninja Articuno deck is probably the cheapest one. It only needs one EX, and then the rest is just regular trainers. So it's like it's the easiest one to craft in a sense. Um, but super cool. Like that's the old Greninja with Water Shuriken from Sun and Moon.
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield. Yes, Sword and Shield. The old school one. Which like I loved that card. I love doing the pinging and 20 damage every turn. Like that's super sick. I wish we had something like that
I will say
now.
that that's one of the few aspects of not few, but that's one of the cool aspects of Pocket is they took damage counters away completely.
Oh yeah, it does 20 damage to one of your, yeah. You're not placing
Exactly.
damage counters. It's not a second, it's not a secondary. You can find a Jake Gearhart tweet. He mentions this a bunch about
Yes, he
Pocket when it
does.
comes out. But because you could do this in the physical TCG too, and it clears up a lot of um,
It would be very difficult to do in the actual TCG.
well, yeah, now because we have 20 years of damage counters, like yeah, but you technically could. You could just not make damage counters anymore, and then at some point, everything with damage counters would rotate. You know what I mean? It's definitely difficult. Like
Sure.
Dusknoir would rotate in 3 years from now, but like you technically could do this,
Yeah.
and then Manaphy wouldn't. Manaphy would block all the bench damages and all the bench barriers, which I
I
think
don't
could be
think
more
we
fun.
I don't think we would have a bench barrier anymore. I think that's the thing. I think that's the balance that we're playing with currently.
Yeah, I get that. I think it'd be weird because we also have Jirachi and the Rabska and like stuff like that. So like maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't, and it's something Pokemon probably isn't thinking about. but like I think it's worth a thought at least. But yeah, Pocket's a ton of fun. I'm playing a ton of Mewtwo Gardevoir. Farfetched is what's the word? Overrated. You don't need Farfetched. It's fine. Um, I've been playing the Meowth in mine. Who I can't remember who tweeted it. A big Pokemon player tweeted it a while ago.
Nicholas Moffat.
Yeah, Moffat did. Moffat tweeted it. But dude, Meowth is broken. Like you said before, Pod. If you set up the Gardevoir Mewtwo deck, you're rolling.
Yeah, I
But
don't see how it loses if you actually set it up.
it lost in top four. Get pooped on. Or I guess it lost in top eight twice or whatever. In that one instance, I'm assuming it won an event at some point. Which then, with things being new, we're going to talk a little bit more about the card market in general. Surging Sparks is on pre-orders everywhere. It releases in stores the November 8th. And prices are skyrocketing. And I couldn't tell you why, because I think me and you both agree this is not a very competitive, viable set.
But
Um,
there's one important card in this set.
and I think I own it.
The All-Card Pikachu.
I do own it. Let's go. I think
So
it's already pre-ordering at what? I'll go find it real fast actually. Pikachu EX in Pokemon. I don't want that one. Give me the cool one. You can keep talking while I find it.
um so like that's the thing is like you already have the X, which is like pre-selling for or pre-market price at $300. Um,
Oh
so you
my
have that.
god! I didn't even know that. Dude, I might
Yes.
sell this. There's only one online.
Yeah. But so not every seller can pre-sell.
No,
Like
for sure.
you have to be a tier 4 seller, and then you have to be opted in, and you have to be approved. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Like I'm technically a pre-sale seller, but it's not worth doing because if you miss that like sell date,
It's
it's
gone.
awful.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Oh, the
you
Latios
have
is
this
at
Pikachu X,
206 as
and
well.
then you have the Latias, which is insanely expensive also. So like
206.
this whole set is gonna be quite expensive. This is gonna be another
Evolving
what
Skies.
I this is gonna be closer to like what I thought Paradox Rift was gonna be. Um
In what sense?
like I thought that was gonna be a super expensive set because you had all, and I think it still will be eventually, because you have all of these like really cool cards that are brand new. But yeah,
Like all the
so like
alt art,
all
Iron
the Altar
Hands, all
Ancients and
yeah,
stuff.
Ancients and
Yeah.
Futures. It was the first set of a new mechanic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think will be like somebody's favorite Pokemon is Roaring Moon. So,
Me.
and I think a lot of people's like in this like next generation that's coming up, once they hit the 15 years old, they're gonna be wanting to buy it. So I think it's one of those things where it'll eventually be expensive. But even look at like the top three most expensive cards from this set. You have the Pikachu EX, which is 350. You have the Latias EX, which is 185. You have the Milotic, which is 100. Oh, I didn't even see this. The Hydreigon is 110.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. There's
And then you have the Lycia, which the Lycias are always expensive.
all the waifu
Uh,
cards. I hate to use that
well,
term, but it is. It's like
it is though.
the female trainers that are full arts and alternate arts
The
are
female of
always
age trainers are always really, really expensive.
yes. Well, I don't do it. I appreciate your
Lycia's
point. I just don't know. I
19, I
sure, but
believe.
I maybe I don't know. Like how old's Iono? People just love the alt artworks of the female
Yes.
characters in the game, and where Brock's point is coming from is like schoolgirl or whatever that was, schoolgirl, schoolboy. Those full arts stayed at $5 forever.
Yes.
Yeah, and so, anyways, but yeah, so
Those are bulk forts.
yeah, they're a box. They're bulk. I'm trying to find. Sir, here we go.
So you
Surgeon
have
Sparks.
all these cards that like you have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have like 6 cards that are roughly $100. So like I hadn't looked at it before we started talking about it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't surprise me that they're pre-selling for so much.
Yeah, like so, like you said, the Alicia's appeals of 128, 143 is the market price. Obviously, the market's crazy because of, like we said, pre verified sellers. Even the Milotic is at $96 right now, and
Yeah.
then the Alolan Executor, which I think is unplayable, is already at $90. But my boy Archaladon ain't even close. He's at 34, which is still
'Cause that's
crazy
a full art.
for a full art.
That's a
Yeah, he doesn't have
no.
an.
It's no. That's an alt art.
Is it an altar technically?
That's an alt art. That's why it's not that expensive. Because it's a special illustration rare, but it looks like a full art.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I think the big thing too is I don't know if you noticed this too, and this is my favorite part of this artwork for this set. They have this anime theme going through it, if you've noticed it or not. So if you look at the Charcadet in this set, it has the same kind of background as that Archaladon. It looks like it's in an anime. It's like it's crazy looking. I think that whoever did the art card for that, it's not even the art card. The base Charcadet, it's got 80 HP. I can't remember which one it is, like number wise. It's probably the not optimal one, but because you can't buddy
Oh,
puffing for
yeah.
it.
No, it's 80 HP. Yeah,
Yeah, it's got there's no, but yeah, you can't buddy puffing for it. But it's literally like standing on a mountain with like the same kind of lightning strikes behind it in an anime style. But like we also forget like the Skarmory's in this set, that like the clear full metal body Skarmory, it's like $25 already. Like so
yeah.
obviously I think these prices will go down once it's in stores and there are people gonna be ripping stuff and opening stuff. But like I would not be shocked if that Pikachu does not go under $100. Like it's gonna be up there for a
I don't think it's
while.
going under 100.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going under 100 either. And the Latios might, with it being
The Latios will be like 75.
yeah, but then I think eventually it'll go right back up. For whatever reason, ever since the Latios tag team that was in the shape of a heart, like it's
Yeah.
they've been, I think they've been that popular forever. We just never had that cool of artwork for those two dragon Pokemon specifically.
Yeah, I mean, they were like the first real, like,
It's
case Pokemon, I want to say.
is that what
Because
they're considered as
like,
ace Pokemon?
that
I
that's
was
how
gonna
I
say
think about
I
them.
was gonna say pseudo legendary.
No, because they're actual legendaries.
What's what I'm saying? It's like the pseudo one technically, because like
No,
in that game, isn't it Groudon, Kyogre?
no, a pseudo legendary is in that game would be
Oh, I'm thinking a mythical Pokemon. I said pseudo legendary. It's the first
yeah.
mythical Pokemon because like it's the same way. Like Darkrai is the mythical Pokemon for Palkia, Giratina, Dialga, and Arceus. Like
Oh,
that kind of yeah. So
the
mythical.
mythicals in that game are Jirachi and Deoxys.
So then, what the heck is Latios Latias?
It's just a roaming. It's one of the Roman legendaries.
I don't know. They gotta figure out the classification on this stuff. I don't know. We're just card players. We're obviously just card players. They have a whole movie around Latios Latias. There's a
Yeah,
whole. This. It's not even.
yeah.
But they're not. I don't get it. I don't know. It's fine. We'll move on from that. But Surging Sparks prices are crazy. Um, I did go to a pre-release. I ended up opening 4 kits. I do and don't regret it. Like I think the only things I need now from this set, playable wise, is just the rest of my Archaladons and Ceruleges and Pikachu's. Other than that, like and those decks might not even be good. Like to be honest with you, I don't think they're gonna be meta breaking until the V stars leave. So I might pick them up when they are $5 a piece, but I'm definitely not paying $10, $12
They're going to
pre-order.
be a quarter a piece.
No, stop it. A quarter, dude. Come on, give it. It's still an EX card. You could get $1 for it for sure.
Oh,
I
I
don't think
don't
it,
think you
maybe five
understand card
dollars is
prices.
aggressive, but come on, like they're gonna be
I don't think
decent
you
cards.
understand card prices.
Maybe not, but like, and part of the problem is I don't buy off of player. I'm scared of player, just because I was burned on a shipping a couple times, not by price wise, but just like getting damaged. And so I unless it's like a verified store or a physical website, like And I'm not sponsored. I'm not gonna like Troll and Toad, Yeti Gaming, Full
Yeah, but
Grip.
then you're spending 4 times the price of
I
it.
am, but I'm also like I don't have to get worried about the
You're not
sketchy.
guaranteed anything.
I mean, it's a better sealed package in my opinion, but maybe that's just because I'm buying
Um,
from the wrong people off
yeah, I mean, if
player.
you're buying the bottom of the barrel
No, of
people,
course
then
I
yeah.
would never do that. But I had a guy who was a verified seller send it to me in 2 pieces of cardboard with 4 pieces of tape around it, and so like obviously negative
I mean,
review.
that's
It happens. It's just like, ugh.
no, I mean, like that's proper as long as it comes in a top loader. Also, that's proper packaging.
Yeah, I don't like
You're
it.
protecting it from the environment from with the cardboard.
Yeah, bro. I don't need your Pizza Hut box on my fucking cards.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just freaks me out. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I don't like doing it. I don't mind paying. When Brock wants to pay 50 cents for a Sula GX and I want to pay $1.50, I'm not gonna be
I mean, I
upset.
get the card for free
That is also
because
true. So just give me 3 of them. Send them my way. It's fine.
yeah, I mean, you're
Um.
good enough of a player and you get them for free.
Oh, okay. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, a little body to the ego there. Yeah, really, really deflated after that one. But yeah, so Surging Spark's super cool. Let's transition now into the current card game. Oh, well, I guess one more thing. Did you see the leaks of the EV's alternate arts?
Yes.
Moonbreon's back. That card, if
Yep.
this one's cooler than the one on the building by far. The rest of them I don't really care about. The Moonbreon, which it seems like it's going to be every single one now is going to have a moon in it. It's going to be funny. We're 2 for 2, so we're not going to high predict it. But the Moonbreon, if you haven't seen the leaks yet, or if you don't want to see leaks, I'm not going to show them on here because people want to save it. I will say there is a moon in it, and I think that artwork is clear of the G Max for sure.
What do
So,
you mean clear?
like, it's way better. It bodies it. It's it's
I
it's
mean,
it's completely better than
it's
the G
not. It's not
Max.
gonna be more expensive than it.
Well, not for a while. You don't think it'll
Well, I
go?
don't think. I know because I
I,
don't think you're realizing how much they're printing of these cards.
yeah, with the gray borders now, they're printing a lot more. I don't know. I still think the pull rate might be harder though.
No,
Eventually,
it's not.
because it's all 9 EVs in one set, dude. It's a
No, I
ton.
mean, but that's all that's in the set.
No, because it'll be the partner Pokemon too. That's the January
Sure, but
set.
they're not all gonna have alt art.
Yeah, but all
Like they're
the
all gonna have alt art. So
the-
like the pull rate, they're gonna increase the pull rates on it because you have all of these extra alt art.
oh, maybe that'd be nice. Wouldn't complain. If that's the case, then yeah, Brock's 100% right. If the pull rates are better, then I 100%
Well,
agree.
even if they're not, there's only I believe there's only 1,000 PSA 10 Moonbreons.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not a PSA guy either. I won't.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the value is. The
Well,
value isn't
yeah,
in raw
and
cards.
then I guess if you're with the boom and Pokemon, you're right. If the pull rates are higher, this current boom right now, and if it's the same way come January, and they keep because then that's the same argument for Pikachu and stuff now too. Is like if it's the pull rates are higher with these gray borders and these
Well,
rainbow
Pikachu is
borders.
more popular Pokemon than
Oh,
Umbreon is.
100%. So like I'm just saying like pull rate wise, like we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how those end up shaking out for sure. Um Off the exciting future of Pokemon, we move into Gdansk and Singapore, um, which happened this weekend. Gdansk had 1,300 in Masters. I'm not sure how many Singapore had, but they're the latest tournaments in our current standard format up to Stellar Crown. And I think it's a pretty big shakeup in general. Overall, meta wise, it wasn't. Raging Bolt still 12%. The spike and turtle in day 2 is what really catches your eye. Um, did you get to watch any of the tournament at all?
No.
Yeah, you're not really a big watcher of the game, are you? You just
Well, I
like
mean, this
playing.
format's dead because we already have the new car, so it's pointless to watch.
Yeah, I get the format being dead. I do like to watch it though, especially because we have a IC in this format, which is kind of crazy.
No,
No,
Surging Sparks is illegal.
No, because no, it's not because Surgery Spark isn't legal until the 22nd. LAIC is this weekend. They're still playing Stellar Crown in LAIC. Am I wrong? Because it's not legal until the 22nd. LAIC is this weekend.
No, it's next weekend.
It's next weekend. Sorry, but it's either way, Surgery Sparks is still not legal.
Surging Sparks came out
It comes out Friday.
today.
It comes out the 8th. Yeah, so it's not legal for LAIC. It's not coming out until the 22nd. The first tournament's Sacramento.
Yeah, they screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, so obviously it was a scheduling error, probably more than it was a Pokemon error, because obviously our release schedule is based on Japan and us putting the formats
It's
together.
not based on Japan.
And be like, no, but like we have to wait for Japan to get their cards and they put them together and all that crap.
They got the cards like 6 months ago.
So how early to go to Japan get them to start printing them?
They got them. They've been playing with Surging Spark cards for like
No, right, because
3 months
theirs
now.
is legal immediately on Reese.
We print everything in the United States.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, in general, like they get. I'm assuming both TPCI and Pokemon are playtesting with this stuff like 3 or 4
No,
sets in advance, like privately, to make sure all the cards work and it flows and all that stuff. So they have like this stuff for a while, but like for us to print it, Japan's only printing half the set, releasing it, and then printing the other half of the set, then releasing it. So they just, I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, but like Surging Sparks will be legal for Sacramento. It's not legal for LAIC. I think that might be a venue issue. I don't know. Like you obviously you book these out years in advance for these big events and stuff like that. Usually like a 2 or 3 year deal, depending on the venue and what you're using it for. So anyways, yeah, big thing here is a spike in Gardevoir. I think that's just because of the favored Raging Bolt matchup. Other than that, I don't know why you'd play Gardevoir. But this is also merged with my favorite deck from Gdansk. 2 Bayonet Gardevoir in top 8. Shout out Magnus Peterson and Mateus. Well, I can't say his last name. They're very popular on Twitter. They seem like good people. They both finished top 4 with the Bayonet, which is sick. We've talked a lot about Bayonet in the last couple weeks. How I don't want to touch it. It's just a for fun deck for me because it's too skill intensive. There's a lot of decisions in this deck, but it's basically the exact same list. I think they maybe just added the Spirit Tomb. Some lists weren't playing it, but I think you should. It stops Rotom. It stops all this stuff, and that's how they both beat Control in top 8, or was it a mirror in top 8? I can't remember. Maybe that was last time. But there was also 3 Control decks, 2 Thorns, 1 Snorlax in top 8. But the big news is Reggie Drago takes it down all again in the finals versus Alberto Conte wins over Tord Recklove. With Alberto's been in the mix for a while now. He's been a very good player, and it's a very standard Reggie Drago list. It really is. But I followed Alberto when he started playing a lot of Giratina Lost Box, and he just did well with it, but never won an event with it. But he won this one with Reggie Drago, and there's nothing crazy about it. It's just Reggie Drago. It's just a really good deck. I think the more fun talking point is actually Tord's list. Tord finished second with the Turtle, Terapagos EX. Very interesting Dusknoir line is the only thing that stands out to me. Because I am a Bouffalant savant. I love me some Bouffalant. And he's playing 2 Bouffalant over the Manaphy. And unfortunately, couldn't pull it through in the finals for Turtle. But I think this is where we start seeing Turtle become one of the BDIFs going forward. Thoughts on the finals, thoughts on Turtle, thoughts on Drago, wherever you want to go
I
with it.
still don't think Turtle's a very good deck. I don't I think I've played this version of the deck quite a bit, and unless your name is Tord Reclove, this deck does not work.
Yeah,
Like
that
all
is a
of his
thing.
decks, like that's just kind of how a lot of his decks go. Um, so it's like the deck is very strong deck, but like it does not. You're basically any deck that's also playing Dusknoir. All they do is they pop one of your boosts and you lose. Um, and like that's and with you playing such a thin line of the Dusknoir, you can't respond with that same potential. You have to pull off these convoluted Thornton combos to even pull off a second Dusknoir. So I don't think this deck is just. I've been saying this for a while. That I think that Hulk is just a better version of this deck. It has more potential. It has a higher skill ceiling. It just allows you to be able to make better plays. Um, of course, Tor did well with it, but none of us are really surprised that Tor did well with the deck anymore.
Yeah, he could
So
do it with any deck he wants, you
yeah.
know. And that's why he's the
So
best, because like he's doing this. I don't think he's really in a testing group. Obviously, he tests a lot with a bunch of different people. Like he played in that big China event a week or two ago. That was like 10,000 players or whatever. Which that's super. That's a different episode to talk about that format. That's kind of crazy. But like Tord is just Tord. There is a second turtle at 11th in Caleb Rogerson. But after that, the next highest turtle is 31st. So there is three in top 32, and then what, one, two, three, four. So six in top 64. I do partially agree with Brock. I do think the Palkia version is better, in my opinion. Just in general. Um, I just the Noctowl part to me is where it gets me. I rather have the Noctowls than rely on Pokestop, but that is so much harder to manage. Like we see this a lot in Tord lists. The one of supporter stuff is so hard to play. Like he's playing one research, one boss, one penny, one Turo, one Thornton, one Briar, and only two Ionos. Like you have to be so good at mastering a deck to be able to play with such a thin and I guess the word is awkward supporter line. It just seems so strange. And Pidgeot is also a great card. Obviously, you can pick whatever card you want at any time. But setting up with this type of deck seems crazy difficult consistently. Like Brock said, Dusknoir pops a Bouffalant and they can just do whatever they want, or they can just clear all your hoot hoots out, and then you have to wait and hopefully find the Pidgey combo off of a research, off of Iono, which you only play three draw supporters. And obviously Fez is in the list, so there's an extra three cards as well. Um, and like Brock also mentioned, there's only three Pokemon recovery cards in this list, which is technically Thornton, which I don't really view as a recovery card, but it is in a way. You're swapping out your Duskull for your fan Rotom out of your bench for your Duskull and your discard pile, and then you have the Night Stretcher for the Dusknoir back if you've already popped it. So it just seems weird. But I do like Noctowl more than Pokestop. I hate Pokestop. I will always hate Pokestop. But Palkia needs to play Pokestop. You're not going to switch out Pokestops for Noctowls and a Wellspring Mask. That just seems awkward. It just doesn't seem great. Maybe it's good in theory. Um, but that does lead into, I believe it's the 12th place list. We'll talk about a little bit, which is this crazy interesting Terapagos Palkia deck, which is super cool. It is using the turtle and area zeros and Noctowl, but its main attacker seems to be Palkia. There's no DTE in this list. It's all just water energies and jet energies with one trumpet, one energy lotto. Um, the coolest cards in these lists is the Volbeat and the Illuminize. Have you seen this list, Brock?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why I never do this. I never share my screen with you just so you can see what I'm posting on there. Yeah, there you go. So now it's in the Discord for you. And these cards are crazy. Volbeat, for those that didn't know, you use it for the first attack. If you go first, you can use this attack during your first turn. Search your deck for 2 base Pokemon and then put them under your bench. Seems pretty good in a very, because you want to go first so often with this deck. Like, why not play Volbeat? Like, that's super cool. And the same reason, if you go second, this deck might be terrible. So you play the Luminize, which, if you didn't know, if you can use this deck only if you go second and only on your first turn. Shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. This is super cool. I didn't get to see him on stream because I didn't get to watch every single game. And I don't even know if he was streamed, to be honest. I'm assuming he was because of these cool cards in here. But like, if you go second, you're not playing Rotom. You're gonna want to do something on turn one because you can't Palkia or Terapagos that turn. So your options are either to attack with Fan Rotom for 70, which is not a bad option if you have the stadium in play. Knock out a Dreepy or a Charmander or a Duskull or a Hoot Hoot. But or you could just shuffle that card back into the deck and they can't evolve or do, even using it on a Raging Bolt or an Ogerpon, like, slows down your opponent quite a bit. Like, it's just like it's one more resource they need to get back. And so I think the Luminize is cool. Thoughts on Turtle Palkia? We mentioned both separately this there, but
Um,
together, have you tried it at all?
this I haven't tried this, but it does just kind of seem like trying to do too much. Um, because I played a version of this like right when Stellar Crown first came out.
Yeah, it was very hyped when it first came out.
Um, and basically you need 7 pieces every turn, just like normal turtle.
But yeah,
Um,
and Knocko's
but
very good at that.
the but you only have 3.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
so you use 2 turn 1, and then you have 1 the rest of the game. How are you getting the
No,
other
I yeah,
4 pieces
I
past that?
agree. Yeah.
The Volbeat and Illuminize, in one of my group chats, we basically said this feels like someone made a bet and it worked. Um,
Yeah.
like the Volbeat that says if you go first, that one's actually sick.
Yeah, the call for family
Uh,
going first is nuts.
the call for family going first is sick.
Because it's
Like
not
that one, I was like, okay, that seems pretty good.
it's also not restricted. So you can get a turtle and a Palkia V off
Exactly.
of it.
That's why I was like, okay, that's sick. And the Illuminates makes sense because it allows you to do something
Yeah.
going
Assault Landing's
second.
good, but it's not shuffle a Pokemon back into your opponent's deck.
Yeah, but the issue with the assault landing is you have to use one of your stadiums to do it and
And
all
then
that.
it'll get bounced the next turn. Yeah.
I will say I
You
think the
lose your first.
Luminize is cute. I don't know if it's good. Like you run back this tournament 10 times, does you see the same success all 10 times? Probably not.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
I do I do think that this was a really cool tech, and it does make me happy that there was something that could catch players off
Could
guard
catch
with like
fire.
something like this.
Yeah, man.
Um, yeah,
Because I mean, Illuminize is literally your only attacker in this deck that can attack on your first turn going second. Like you said, without the stadium in play, Fan Rotom is not great because it can't do anything besides Fan Call, and well, obviously lists prior to this one. I mean, I have you want to put Rotom in the active because I don't want to have someone swing into my turtle on their second turn going first. You know what I mean? Like on the
yeah,
play or whatever you want to call it. I do think the jet energy is interesting, right? Because you have the one of trumpet. You could just trumpet one to a turtle on the bench, and then energy lotto or whatever a jet energy onto that same turtle, and then it's in the active. That's a super cool combo. Something that I never really thought of, and obviously I don't think a lot of other people maybe thought of it. Because obviously this deck hasn't really done well so far to this point. And so super cool list, something that I'm definitely going to try out for fun on live, and maybe it'll stick with me because I do love Palkia. Like I said, I hate Pokestop, and obviously I think Palkia Dusknoir probably is just better than this because they, like you said, we can just snipe and then attack and then do that. But this also gets
I
the
mean, if there
Eraser.
was a world like this deck isn't playing the Greninja, which is the best part of the Poké deck.
Yeah, the Greninja EX.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Shinobi Blade's broken.
Um. Yeah. So the Jet Energy is really cool because like it allows. I feel like there was so many times where he had a buddy plus a Jet, and he's just like going first, and it's like, okay, I get to do whatever I want this turn.
Yeah,
So one buddy, basically one buddy and a Jet equals two buddies because or a buddy and a VIP pass, basically.
yeah, or a buddy and I shuffle your opponent back into 0.
Yeah.
I wonder if he ever got a donk off that. That's my favorite question I want to
Does it
ask him.
say bench or just one
No,
Pokemon?
just one Pokemon.
It's bench. No, it's bench.
Oh, dang it. One of your opponent's banished Pokemon. Darn, bro. They should have gave it the donk ability. They gave it to Petra, little baby poison one. Can't give it to Illuminize. That's dumb. It's still a very good attack. If you could pull it off, super good. Spirit Tomb in this list, it's coming back for the next 4 months. Stopping Rotom's very good, so I get why you play it in this list that you can have 8 bench Pokemon. It makes sense. Other than that, deck seems awesome. Every card makes sense. I don't like the one judge. Some people do. I'd rather play 3 Iono. That's just me, or even a second Irida. Like that's just one of
I mean, with a deck like this that already searches out its whole deck, I like the Judge. I've been a big Judge proponent recently because there's so many decks that need like you play this against even another Turtle variant. Like I said, Turtle needs like 12 cards to even play the game.
yeah.
So if you give them 4 instead of the 7 that, or give them 5 instead of the 7 that they have, you set them back a turn potentially,
Yeah, and to
or
clarify
you
what
force them to waste. You give them 5 because they draw for turn, so like
no, yeah,
their
yeah.
access to cards.
And that's what I was going to clarify. And to Brock's point, when I said the Iono over the Judge, in Brock's scenario, if I Iono them on turn 2 or turn 3 and they draw into 6 cards, they'll get a 7th one off the draw for turn. Judge, that limits them to the 4 off of the shuffle draw and then draw the 5th one.
Yes,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I think is just it's a
better
it's a
disruption card early game. It really is. It's just a better disruption card. I don't think there's a better one. That's why Arceus played 4 judges for the longest time, just because like it was you had Path to the Peak, you judged them. 4 cards is tough. Like it's just the way it is. 4 cards at the 5th, and you're not knocking something out probably if you're judging that turn. So you judge them. They limit the Fezidipity draw. Even if you do knock something out, like 8 cards compared to 9 or 10 is still a very significant difference. Like Brock said, you need 12 cards to have Turtle going full gas, no brakes type of thing. So
yeah, like double dust snore, all that kind of stuff.
all that
Like
you
the
need,
optimal
yeah.
turns.
Um, Last for fun deck. I mean, we're not talking Thorns or Stall. I don't want to do that. We're not doing that. Thorns is Thorns and Stall is Stall. There was Gouging Fire again made top 32. So shout out to that group. I think there was 3. Yeah, 1, 2. I think there's a third one. There's at
I think
least
that deck's an actual deck.
yeah, it might be real. Like this is the second tournament in a row. Maybe it's just an EU thing. Gouging Fire again, top 32. Magma Basins is really strong. Jet Energy is really good. Like Monkey Dory is
I
really
think it
good.
I think it just has an insane Raging Bolt matchup.
Yeah,
And has
260
like
is awesome.
I think it just has an insane like Raging Bolt, Turtle, probably Reggie Drago because 260 is really weird for them to kill.
And the grass weakness. Obviously, the fire into the Ogre Ponds is really good.
Yeah, I don't think that matters as
I mean,
much,
but like
but
it's just
yeah.
easier. Obviously, you're hitting 260 with Gouging Fire. Like that
Yeah.
100, say it knocks it out anyway. But like if I have an Entei V by itself and I have a 4 card bench and they have a
Sure,
3, like
yeah.
it, Raikou doesn't get there. You know what I mean? Like, but Gouging Entei does. So, because of weakness. I do like the Kieran in the list. The secret box is cool. Obviously, Monkey Dory is super sick because you're damaging yourself with Magma Basin. You play the 4 jet to get gouging fires out of the active because obviously it has that weird effect where it can't attack until it leaves the active spot again. So jet energy is super cool. Delphox is still super underrated in my opinion. It's basically Wellspring Mask, but for fire Pokemon. Um, but it is the Lost Zone instead of the deck. You have to put the energies into the Lost Zone when Wellspring puts them back into your deck. I think the only new card in here, or maybe it's not new, I just never noticed it. The Moltres from Go seems super good. The same reason why Zapdos is good in Miraidon. It has the same ability, but for fire
I thought
Pokemon.
that was the other one.
No. It's the flare symbol. Your basic fire Pokemon do 10 extra damage to your opponent's
Yeah,
active
I thought it
Pokemon.
was the
If
one
it's
that
if it's damaged, it does like
it's damaged.
110.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does like
It
110, I
does.
think.
It knocks out basics.
Yeah, it knocks out little guys. No, it's the Pokemon Go one, which I think is a super cool inclusion. Like 270 um off your Blaze Blitz into a Kieran or into a Monkey Dory moving the 30. Like, you have the potential of hitting 330 with Gouging Fire with Moltres, which is crazy. Which is you do the 270 Monkey Door, move the 30 over, and then a Kieran for 330. So like that, you can one shot a Charizard or a Dragapult with this list. Not sure how often they needed to pull that off, but they could. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's without any extra damage. There's no items in here. There's no Defiance Band. There's no. Sorry, I misspoke there. There is 2 Bravery Charm, but there's no Defiance Band. There's no Vitality Band. Like, this is all just other cards in play to damage modify. They are playing the Flutter Mane in here. I'm assuming it's just for because it's an ancient card, so you can accelerate to it off of
I just
Sada
think
if you
it's your
need to.
best starter.
It probably is your best starter, but like obviously, like, and like this isn't because you're using so many jet energy, but like why not just play a Spirit Tomb? And that's like a different deck scenario, obviously. But like, because Fluttermane shuts down the active, right? It shuts down Thorns, so you can play the game, I
Yeah, I
guess.
was about to say, I think the Flutter is just better. One, you can attack with it. So against like Lost Box has made like a somewhat recursion. So
Yeah,
like just being able to like power it up and just win based off of that.
there's one that finished 10th.
Yeah.
To just actually 10th and 15th. Cameraman played it. Cameraman played it. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, he was on stream. He played against somebody.
Yeah. Another list that's like super interesting. There's also Goldango in here in top 32. There's 2 of them, maybe a third. Nope, just 2. Um, the last deck that catches my eye that's different. There's a Miraidon in top 64. Um, and it's your basic Area Zero type of list, but it plays a secret box. Um, and like this card is booming in popularity in my opinion. I feel like no one talked about this card for the first what Twilight Masquerade was the spring set, so 5 months of it being out. We saw a little bit of it at Worlds, and it just starts slowly getting more popular. It was randomly popular in the Ancient Box deck before Dusknoir came out. Like, that was about it. And now it's randomly in a bunch of things. Gouging Fire, Miraidon. I've even seen I'm not saying this is optimal. I've seen it in a Raging Bolt list. Like, it's fine. Like, but like it's a very powerful card, especially if you're having ancient cards in discard piles, or even just you don't need 3 cards in your hand. You can go get exactly what you need of every single kind. So Secret Box might be something to consider going forward. In a lot of decks. Like, why not try it? Cool thing about
Just
my
grabbing
Rhydon,
3 cards is good.
yeah, just that's the 3 for 3 trade is insane. Um, I do like the Raichu being back in the list. I think Miraidon is back, especially when Surging Sparks comes out. No, I don't. I would love to fit a Pikachu in this list when Surging Sparks come out, but I just think it'd be too difficult to pull off. But it definitely is better than Mewtwo as the Terra type. That's a no doubt, no brainer swap. But I don't think they're ever going to attack with Pikachu and Miraidon. Like I'm gonna make that perfectly clear. I don't think you're ever going to attack with Pikachu and Miraidon, even with Magneton. Like just playing the three types of energy seems terrible. Um, I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast or somewhere else before, but I think it was Sneaker Talk was playing a version with turtles, which seemed really cool. So you can hit the big number with Raichu easier. You have like one or two trumpet and stuff like that. Just a more energy to the bench to help Raichu out. And then he also played a Thornton, so you could Thornton onto Iron Hands or whatever. Or maybe I'm wrong in saying that. I would play a Thornton. Other than that, everything else is cool. Doing a little scrolling, there was a Chen Pao in top 64, which we haven't seen that deck in a long time. Shout out to Chen Pao. Any other thoughts from Gdansk?
No.
No. Goldango, we mentioned it a little bit. Fit got second in Singapore. We transitioned to Singapore real fast. We're not going to go into any super deck inclusions. But Goldengo finished second, lost to a Turtle Dusknoir in the final. It definitely, it's funny to say it, but it's different than Torrid's list, but it plays the exact same Dusknoir line. Does play two Iono, plays two Research, so there is some subtle differences here. Only the 1/1 Pidgeot instead of the 2/2 for Tord, but Turtles does win Singapore. Much smaller tournament. I'm not really sure the meta breakdown on it. We only have the top 32. The one deck I will mention in here, an Okie Dokie got top 32. And it's very similar to the one that was like super funny and hyped on stream in Louisville. It's the Okie Dokie that has a dark energy on it. It does more damage and has more health. You play the legacy energies. Super cool list. Okie Dokie is just a cool Pokemon. I don't like the EX, but the base fighting one is sick from Twilight Masquerade. Yeah, shout out Okie Dokie. Any thoughts from? Oh, there's a Moon in here too. Oh wow, top 32 Roaring Moon. Let's go. Also a Cloth in top 32. Two more Iron Thorns in top 8. Like Iron Thorns seems fine still. Like it's just Brock. I know you were. Were you considering Thorns? I know my friends in Omaha played Thorns.
No.
Thorns is just Thorns. Like if you hit your heads, like you're broken. If you don't hit your heads, you're just a really slow, worse control version. So Thorns is
No,
Thorns.
I think Thorns is just. I think it's a bad deck. That's me.
Yeah. Last brief moment to mention. There's another Noctowl Palkia in top 32 in Singapore. They play the Ditto though from Go, the one, the transformative start one, which I think is super cool. Because it could be any basic Pokemon. And it's just another optimal starter. It's another way to get out Fan Rotom. It's another way to get out on the Hoot Hoot, maybe even a Palkia V or a Turtle. Like it's just a cool card. So haven't seen that Ditto card in a long time. The difference between this list and Dance, they are playing the Wellspring Mask as their Terra type as well with Terapagos to kind of supplement for the Greninja loss. It's more of a similar attack, so then you have two spread attackers in the Radiant Greninja and the Wellspring Mask, which is just devastating to set up decks like Charizard and Dragapult and Gardevoir and even the Bayonet. No Bayonet in this top 32. What I am shocked about is the popularity of Lugia. Like, it just seems like, compared to NA, it seems like they just hate Lugia so much everywhere else. Like, we haven't mentioned it once. It feels like everyone hates Lugia besides us, which I wish we were more like them. Like, I hate Lugia too. There's two Lugia.
I think there's a really big. I think the reason behind it is I think a lot of the Americans, and I'll probably get blasted for this. I think a lot of Americans look at statistics and just live and die by the statistics, which is the correct, in my opinion, of course, is the correct way of looking at Pokemon from a competitive sense, like taking your feelings out of why something's good or not. Like, yes, Lugia doesn't always feel the best to play, but on paper, Lugia has the most 60-40 matchups, 70-30 matchups, and it also has the most 20-80 matchups. So but the 20-80 matchups are your 1 and 2% decks.
Yeah,
When your 80-20 or your 70-30s and your 60-40s are your 10 to 8% decks.
yeah, it's
So
your
it's like
Ogrepons, your Dragos, your Turtles. Like, yeah.
us or the Americans most of the time look at the statistics and say, okay, this is what it is. As long as the statistics are correct and I hit the variance needed, then I'll do well. When the Europeans kind of say, well, this deck feels icky and moves on from it. And this is like the general player base of Europe. This isn't like your top players, because I feel like the top players are the top players. They can do well with any deck and they don't have to look at statistics like that. But like your average player looks at that.
Yeah. And like shout out to PokeHive, like Brock's talking about the stats and stuff. Like this is the perfect place to look at it. There's a bunch of resources. Limitless has a lot of it, right? There's so many resources to find your matchup numbers, especially as a player like me, where I do have that problem that Brock mentioned. I am attached to cards. I love playing cards that I love to play with, and Brock is definitely more non-partial and wants to just pick the best play and then test that for a week before the tournament and then decide. Like I'm very much, oh hey, I like these two decks. These are my decks, and I'm gonna make a call on which one I like more into the tournament. Brock is definitely more numbers driven than I am, and so like it definitely pays off in the end if you put the time in, and so like it just shows in this type of way.
And like saying that, it's like this is only like on the highest end of competing that like the statistics and all that kind of stuff matter. Um
Oh, for
like
sure.
trying to do the best. Like if you're just there to like compete and have fun,
Yeah,
then like it does you don't have to think about like your matchup percentages as much. But yeah.
yeah, that's more me. I'm that's me. I just I want to go compete, have fun, play in the big tournaments. Like it's just a lot of fun. But there's people who are very focused on accomplishing goals. Like I do obviously get upset when I lose and I don't make day two, but like I'm there for the experience more than I am for trying to make top 32 in any sense of that matter. Like to be honest, it's just like just because I don't have as many events and like you're Brock, I think you're going to what, four more regionals minimum. I think we talked about.
3 and internationals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm mixing the two. Yeah, because I'm not going to Texas anymore. Um, and then I think I'm still trying to go to Milwaukee, and I think you're going to both of those plus
Well,
NAIC.
Milwaukee, San Antonio, and whatever the last American. It's either Atlanta or Orlando, from what I've heard.
Oh,
That's not
they
confirmed.
haven't
It
revealed
has
it
not
yet.
confirmed.
No, they haven't.
Yeah,
There
but
is going
it
to
has.
be more. There's Milwaukee's not going to be the only regional in the second part of the season. That's for sure. But wherever that may be, and that'll be what, two more sets from now. Milwaukee. Now thinking about it out loud, we'll
I
get the.
have no idea.
It's. I think it might be three sets. We'll get the Surging Sparks. We'll get the Eevees and potentially the Spring set for Milwaukee. It's a whole different game 3 sets from now. Who knows? And
I have
rotation,
zero
bro.
clue.
Oh my god, my
I
brain
haven't
just
looked that
broke.
far.
My brain just broke. Can't wait to start playing cups again. To be honest, I just love playing in tournaments like that. We talk about playing for fun and stuff. Like I can't wait to play in cups again. The new format's gonna be sick. Any closing thoughts, Brock, as we wrap this day up?
Uh,
Before we
pile of the week.
we do have a pile of the week, and I just closed it. Give me 10 seconds. I got distracted. It's my daughter's fault, but I love her. She's the best. Where'd it go? Um, it's down here at the bottom of. There it is of day two. Brock, are you ready?
Yeah,
It
let's
is.
see
It
it.
is on your screen right now. This day two in Gdansk.
Okay then.
So the deck we're talking about, if you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on Spotify, Okie Dokie Garchomp EX with Legacy
What
Energy and
the?
Luminous Energy made day 2. I
Okay.
could not tell you how, but this is the
You,
person I
you got top
strive to be.
128.
This
Who is
as
it?
a
Do I know this
player,
person?
I don't know if
Nope.
you, as a person who wants to go have fun and compete, this is my dream. If this was me with Dragapult, like on in Louisville, I'm in. Like, because if he's attached to Garchomp and Okidogi, which I'm assuming he is, he played, or they are. I don't even know who it was. I just looked for the Okidogi at the bottom of
Hey
Gdansk.
door.
Um, they took their favorite deck, did very well, got day 2, got their pack pricing and a good time. That's the perfect weekend for me. I made day 2. I got some packs. I get to go home and go to work on Monday. This is the dream. This is the 100% the dream. I do not know how they accomplished it with Garchomp. There's not a single Gabite in this list. You are just rare candying into Garchomp. There is 4 Irida, 4 Research, 2 Iono, 2 Boss. Straightforward Garchomp list with the Okie Dokie we mentioned from Singapore. I
Okie
could.
dokie is just very annoying.
It is
So
230 on a single price Pokemon with potentially a legacy energy on it is
yeah.
crazy.
Also, like 320. Like I know, like we've kind of like been to this era of like 320 is not really even that big of a number now with like Raging Bolt and all that. But 320 is still a big
It's still a
number.
big number if you're not Raging Bolt. Like
And then 160,
2 shots everything except for Charizard.
2 shots everything, and attach 3 basic fighting, so you can go Garchomp, power up your Ogie Dogie, like multiple Ogie Dogies, I believe.
Yeah, it's anywhere, right?
Match up to from yeah, in any way you like. So you can like if you have like two to three Ogie Dogies on the bench, and then you're just waiting for the luminous energies to go. Like the cohesion is there.
Is there. No one, this is not on anyone's radar. This is a complete, we talked about it a little bit. The shock factor of when you sit down to your opponent and wait to see what they play is massive with this deck. Because, like, oh, hey, this dude started Lone Gibble. Yeah,
Yeah.
this man started Lone Gibble. And you're flying through your deck. You could research into 2 Nest Ball or research into Artisan. You get 3 Okie Dokies down. And then turn 2, you put 1 fighting energy on every Okie Dokie. Like, that's 3 attackers if you just draw into 1 luminous energy or your legacy energy. I'm surprised there's not a single energy lotto in this deck. There's not a single way to find legacy energy. They're just, oh, I'm going to find it off research eventually.
No, like
Like,
that's more what it seems like.
yeah.
Like Energy Lotto is inherently a bad card.
No, I agree. But, like, I just, like, you could play a Colress's Tenacity. Like, there should be a way to find the
Yeah,
energy.
but I'd rather just see 7 cards. In a deck like this, I'd rather just see 7 cards.
Yeah, yeah. This guy's the master of it. Day 2 in Gdansk with this list. Next week, I'm hoping to have a more total pile certified type of thing. And we're going to talk about it now. I'm probably going to make 2 piles and then pick a pile that did well. And then I want you to guess which one made or is the real pile and
Okay.
not a my creation pile, which I think would be super funny.
Okay.
More of like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style. All right, Brocky, $50,000 on the line. What did it win? What is the actual total pile of the week? I think it's hysterical.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, this is the certified pile of the week. I did already import this into live. I have not played it yet, so we will see. But your only bad matchup probably is Iron Hands because they can just Iron Hands can't even get there. 160 times 2 can, but you can't hit the threshold with Ampy very much. So I guess you really don't have one. Like I don't know what your bad matchup is besides yourself. Maybe
Yeah,
Lugia. Like little
for sure.
rats do all those damage, but like you're trading 1 prizes for 1 prizers. Like it's just if they don't knock out a guard shop, it's okie dokies the rest of the way. It seems fun. I don't own 2 guard shop, but I might buy 2. I'm not gonna say I won't. And on that note, Brock, I hope you have a great week. To everybody, I hope you have a great week. And we will see you next week.
See you.
Damn, bro, that was a big gap.